Hi, I'm Georg Ell. I'm the General Manager for Yammer in Europe, Middle East and Africa, based here in London with a team of 80 people right in the heart of Tech City. Yammer is a company that provides enterprise social networks to organizations, whether they be public sector, private sector or not-for-profit, right around the world. We have about 6 million users. The company was founded about 4 years ago. We've just been acquired by Microsoft for $1.2 billion. So very exciting times for both us as an organization and now us as a part of a bigger organization as we grow, Yammer as part of the Microsoft Office division and take it to the next 60 or 600 million users. So I'll be speaking about the future impact of social business, and that gives us a great opportunity to talk about some of the lessons that we've learned as we've brought working social to some of the biggest and the smallest, and the most interesting and the most international companies in industries right across both Europe and the world. And I'll try to bring that to life with some examples, both of our own best practices and some of the innovations that we've seen our customers use these social technologies to drive inside their own businesses in ways that I think have both surprised them and encouraged them to think ever more broadly about how these technologies can actually be applied to changing their business to be faster and more efficient. I think people are really looking for connected experiences. So I think what that means is that now when you pick up your phone or your tablet or your PC, what you're expecting to see is a consistent experience across all of those devices. It might even extend to your television. Here at Yammer, we've thought about Yammer being part of a broader context of technologies that people use to get work done. So it's not just about going to Yammer to use Yammer. It's actually going to Yammer or going to a business application, and in either case being able to access the other. So the point here is that now, instead of social or any application being something that you do in a silo or based on the data itself and then building up, it's actually about connecting people. So it's connecting people, connected experiences, connected devices, and trying no longer to have these software silos that force you to copy and paste data sort of endlessly between systems. We're starting to see data just be created in every interaction that you have in life. Ultimately, these days we're wearing fitness devices that measure the steps that we take, the calories that we burn, the hours that we sleep, and all of that information is then fed into health systems that our GPs have access to. So this Internet of Things, I think, is very, very interesting, both in consumer and in enterprise technologies. I do think personalization is a big theme, so we're starting to see companies value the individual. So it starts actually with culture being helped by technology. I'm not sure technology necessarily leads the way here, perhaps it's symbiotic. Companies are now trying to win customers through the quality of the individual people that they have rather than the kind of class of people. We see personalization being something that people expect in enterprise software as well, and you see that in Yammer too. You can choose the groups that you follow and the people that you follow and things that you like. It's a very personal interaction. I think our answer is clear. It is evolution. We have a team of people here we call our customer success managers, and they do phenomenal work in helping organizations to start to make that transition to working social, and they work from the C-level down to the shop floor. And at the C-level, it might be about tone of voice in terms of how a chief officer communicates on the network, asks questions, interacts with staff. And many of the CEOs and chief marketing officers and chief communications officers that we've worked with, VPs of sales, are very, very interested in how they can better connect with their staff. But it's been a quite unique experience for them actually to start to have that level of interaction if they choose to do that. Our advice would be to pick 3 or 4 existing processes in your organization and try to make improvements with them by working in a social way. If you can then take something that has been benchmarked and improve it, then you win the hearts and minds and you can grow from there. And you only have to have a few wins and people will start exploring for themselves, and you see hundreds and thousands of small improvements. And if you know the story of Clive Woodward and the England rugby team that won the World Cup, he talked about doing 100 things 1% better, and that's what made them World Cup winners. The big trends that everybody talks about, cloud, social, mobile, big data, those are all continuing. Those are not fads, those are not the thing of 2012 or 2011 or 2010. Those are here and they're here to stay, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that. But that means some key things for companies as they think about this. The first thing is it probably means the end of the 3-year roadmap. And that's something that big companies have been really used to getting from their vendors. And it's a good thing that it's the end of the 3-year roadmap, because what it means is that companies are using the benefit of cloud to reach millions of users, to be able to get real-time analytics and data about how they're actually using the technology that they build, to then iterate very, very fast. I think the second thing we'll see is organizations embedding social into the value chain of the work that they do. So as they look to connecting to their supply chain and their customers, their external partners, and then back into the internal constituents, stakeholders, decision makers, and so on, connecting the inside and the outside world in that way through social mechanisms. Social itself is just going to become embedded in the way that people do business. It's going to be part of what a call center operative does, or a retail store clerk, or a bank clerk, or an actuary, or an accountant, or a consultant, doesn't matter. The way that they interact with their peers will then start to be increasingly using social technologies and social norms and mannerisms, which I think companies will start to see real value in. We are going to see the total amount of information flow around the world go up. I mean, it's sure as hell not going down. So if that's going up, then the role of the communicator in passing that and finding the right tone of voice for the organization and connecting leadership to the front line, the role of the communicator and how they use social technologies to get the message out, or the brand out, or the strategy out, is going to become more important than it ever has been in 2013. So those are my 3 kind of social predictions.